Did you respond to H3's podcast yesterday about you? No. He implied he's going to spend his holiday break working on a content nuke on you. It's just very sad at this point. That does make me sad, but there's not really much to do about that. Yeah, I know. I saw he brought up Bro Tips, a satirical show from 13 years ago that was deleted off of the internet 12 years ago that I have used as a formative experience, talking about how my personal political journey and my personal political ideology has changed. Ironically enough, it's actually what I have pointed to when talking about Ethan's like many different N-word with a hard R compilations. Like I've literally talked about how I have also changed organically. I've grown, I've reformed, and it instructs my political commentary. And I've even defended Ethan time and time again on numerous occasions whenever people point out his old material, saying this does not demonstrate who he is now. So it's kind of funny that he's like, no. Look at his older clips from a time where like it looks like it was like Vaseline on the lens. Anyway, don't let the drama perverts win. Yeah, I know. I think everyone has the capacity to grow, and I hope you guys understand that. This is one of the fundamental principles that I've always applied in my commentary and in my community building in general. There are a shit ton of people in this chat right now that have reformed, that have changed their minds, that have a different perspective, that maybe even feel embarrassed about what they once represented themselves as online or in their, personal experiences. And there's nothing wrong with that. We're all imperfect. That's it. I will always be an advocate for rehabilitation. I will always be an advocate for growth and change. That's a very important part of why I do what I do. And this is straightforward. This is something that I talk about quite a bit when like talking about Ben Shapiro, for example. The only instance where I will ever use someone's like old commentary is if they have not changed their perspective from that commentary whatsoever. If it's something that a person like iDubbbz is a perfect example of this. Like I defended iDubbbz organically changing and recognizing the error in his ways, right? I've defended him time and time again. People were hella mad at me. Then stop lying and farming the drama. What? The only instance where like someone's past statements are I think appropriate is if it's like something that you're still advocating for. That's it. So no, I don't think that the brotive stuff, especially considering that it was a shitty attempt at satire to mirror the existing like PUA style format, is appropriate. Anyway, if you consider that you would be 10x bigger if you were a comfort streamer, what does that mean? A comfort streamer? Destiny's crying about you again in his chat. That's what the reference is. I have no idea. I saw that on Twitter. Is what D is calling you now? That's funny. 10x bigger. So I'd have 300,000 viewers. That's very nice of Destiny to say that if I didn't do this political shit, I would have 300,000 viewers. That's a wild fucking take. Oh, this is okay. This is it. Yeah. Hasan is the ultimate comfort king. He should be 10x larger than he is right now. You guys are just R-worded delusional. He's a fucking failure of a streamer. He believes in me. Top 10 streamer for the past 5 years. Wish I was that level of failure. I know. What a failure I've been. Even my biggest haters realize if I stopped doing politics, I'd be a 300K Andy. He was brainstorming with Boner Box on their 10-viewer podcast on how to oust you and place themselves within the DNC sphere. Nice. He means you're not doing enough things outside of streaming. He's making the argument that he's bigger than you. I have been on 10x more big podcasts. I have so much more widespread internet presence. I have shows that I'm doing now. I have much more reach into infinitely more audiences. Any show I do outside my sphere is getting more views than any dog shit Hasan does. You realize he peaked like years ago when he's playing Among Us with AOC? I mean, I think numbers on the board, I'm doing pretty fine. 35K live concurrence is pretty good. Had the current Federal Trade Commission's commissioner on stream immediately after a very well celebrated, well decorated journalist and academic, Ta-Nehisi Coates. I feel like I'm doing all right, you know? He was literally arguing with his chatters about how he's much more popular and all you do is sit at home and spam streams. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I have peaked, but it seems like this community keeps growing. and I'm pretty happy about it. And I think at the end of the day, career highs or career lows are nowhere near as important or as consequential as simply being happy and being honest with yourself and being able to sleep comfortably at night. I could say that about myself. I don't think a lot of my online adversaries that I never would have wanted to have as adversaries to begin with, I don't think that they can say that themselves. You know what I mean? To your previous point, I was quite pro-Israel before watching your stream. Day by day, my philosophy changed based on your evidence. Really disliked you at first, but kept an open mind about your options or your opinions, and I'm very happy I did. Hell yeah, chatter. We love growth here. We celebrate it, okay? This is not like one of those other communities where I believe that like human beings are intrinsically evil and have like unchangeable convictions, and that those convictions are coming from a place of being evil in general. I am very understanding of growth. Not only have I demonstrated in my own life, but I also hope that others can in this community every single day. And not only that, but also I understand where that starts, where the starting point is. We are all, at the end of the day, susceptible to social conditioning. And this is something that I criticize the left on quite a bit. I often will find myself criticizing people on the left who have this mindset that like, no, people are also just evil. They're ontologically evil. There's no redeeming qualities, and there's no hope for change. And I find that really strange because those very same leftists also understand that we live in a white supremacist, patriarchal, misogynistic, anti-queer society, right? Anti-black society. If you understand that, then you have to understand that all orifices of media and every institution that is supposed to teach you ends up teaching you shit that is in line with that mentality. So of course the expectation is that virtually everyone that comes out of that process is oftentimes going to have some resilient, unexamined, bigoted perspectives. Yes, every hole, every orifice. Yeah, you heard me right. This is something that most people don't want to contend with. I don't know why. I do know why, actually. The left also loves to act like a single mistake at any point summarizes a person's entire existence. That too, I think is silly. And it's also not a standard that people apply. It's not a standard that people evenly apply to others. If you like someone, you are endlessly charitable to them, regardless of their shortcomings. Think of a loved one. Think of your father. Think of your mother. Oftentimes, it takes a lot more for you to write them off than it does for you to write someone else off. You have to always demonstrate charitability and forgiveness and be understanding of where people's starting point is. That's it. And I do that all the time, especially to content creators. And people get very mad at me in the process where they're like, no, you don't understand. Like, there's a point of no return. And I agree, there is a point of no return, right? There certainly is. I guess my point is much higher than the average person. And there's a tactical reason for it as well. I think part of that is because I understand that as long as they are charitable back to me, I can get across to them. I can cut across the noise and potentially get them to understand the world from my framework. And also, if these conversations are being held in public, or even if they change their attitude to a certain degree, then they will be able to change the opinions of their own of their own fan bases. That's it.